Hello, I'm Dr. Brian Hulsebus, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is my little podcast that I do for when somebody has a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care. I always said if you have a question about chiropractic or whether or not you should get chiropractic care, you should ask a chiropractor, because only a chiropractor studied chiropractic. I would never ask my dentist about a foot problem. I would talk to a podiatrist. Often people will ask their family doctor whether or not they're good chiropractic cares or maybe an orthopedic doctor, but I'm here to tell you that they don't study chiropractic like a chiropractor does, so we can actually give you the best answer. Now, sometimes we go over questions, sometimes I go over some research, and today I've got a new piece of research that was written in Nature. This came out it's the 7th of August 2023. Today is the 8th of September 2023, so this is a month and a day old. And this one has a lot to do with, this came up a lot during COVID and we weren't allowed to discuss this. And so today I'm not going to discuss this, I'm just going to talk about the research paper. But it has a lot to do with your immune system and how your immune system improves, or is there any benefit of going to the chiropractor to help boost our immune system? Now, I've been told during COVID, we're not allowed to say that chiropractic boosts your immune system, or people who get chiropractic care have a stronger immune system. So that's my official statement. But I'm going to tell you that this research paper just looks to see what happens. Now, how could somebody even measure this, right? How do you know, hey, I went to the chiropractor, I got my adjustment, I feel like I don't get sick like other people get sick. I went to the chiropractor, I go regularly, and I feel like I never get a cold or anything like that. I've even had people come up to me, and like they move here. One of the time was an ice hog player, said, I get my kids adjusted regularly, and it's like they're never sick. It sounds like everyone's kids are sick, but my kids are never sick. Do you think chiropractic plays a role in that? So I'm going to tell you what people have observed, and I'm going to tell you what this research paper observed, and you can answer your own questions. The hardest thing about when you look at an immune system, besides just the fact I don't feel like I'm getting sick, is there any measurable marks? And that's always been the hardest part about chiropractic care, is the things that we adjust and that we observe after we adjust. There's no way for us to objectively measure these things. The science isn't there yet, and it's gotten so much better than it used to be. In my dad's day, they talked about how, in my grandpa's day especially, how it changed the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic. But there was no way to measure that. Well, today we've come up with a couple different ways to do it. One of them is actually salivatory amylase inside your mouth. It'll change when you're in stress or non-stress. So Dr. Agulla is doing research where they're doing chiropractic adjustments and they're seeing the change in the salivatory amylase from an area of sympathetic to parasympathetic. Now, sympathetic is your fight and flight. Parasympathetic is when you're healthy and you're not in stress. So we're able to actually measure some of this now. There's also been some research on body temperatures and other machines and stuff that we're starting to invent in order to see these things. So this one here, I wanted to see whether or not there was any effects on it. So this is a really interesting double-blind random control study. And what they basically looked at, as I'm going to look down here as I talk to you, is they wanted to see people who had neck pain. So they found 100 people with neck pain. And what they did is they gave those 100 people neck pain, they gave some of them chiropractic care, some of them placebo. So we did a double-blind study here. Now, I've never been a fan of double-blind studies when it comes to chiropractic care because no two people are exactly alike. So it's hard to do a double-blind random control study. When you have a medication and you have a pill, double-blind random control study is the go-to method. But chiropractic's not a pill. Chiropractic's not like that. So I've never been a fan of double-blind random control studies. Just like when they do heart surgery or they did artificial hearts, there was no double-blind random control study for that. Nobody got a fake heart, somebody else got a working heart. Let's see which one works. It was, this is what we made, this is what we predict will happen, let's put it in and see what happens, and that's what happened. So you go with a chiropractor, this is what we see, this is what we're going to adjust, this is what we predict is going to happen, this is what happened. So this is the way chiropractic research should be done, in my opinion. That being said, this did a double-blind random control study with 100 people. So they split the group into different groups, and what they were doing is people with neck pain. And what they did is they increased mobilization in the cervical or the neck area, and they did an adjustment in the cervical thoracic junction where the neck and the rib cage come together. Now, I don't understand the rationale behind this, because if I had neck pain, we got tons of research out there that shows going in and doing the chiropractic adjustment helps alleviate the neck pain. So I'm not sure why they tend to do a mobilization exercise and adjustment below the spot, but that's what they choose to do, and that's the research we have, so that's what I'm sharing with you. Now afterwards, how do you measure the immune system? Well, some things we're able to actually do in a blood test. On this one, they did highly sensitive C-reactive protein and tumor necrosis factor. We found that these may be elevated in people with severe neck pain. So they were able to give these people care, and then they went back and rechecked it afterwards, and they were able to find that the immune system was definitely, the neuroimmune system was definitely improved to a state of parasympathetic out of state of sympathetic in order to do its job and fight and help fight off different issues. So this is a really cool study because the people who didn't get their care, they got the sham care or the placebo care, didn't have the same reactions as the people who did. Again, I feel like they missed the boat because they didn't actually adjust the upper neck or the area of the complaint, but they still performed an adjustment. I'd be really curious to see what happens. They did the whole neck, but that's not what they did, so I don't have that research paper. But yes, there's evidence on this research paper being able to check the systemic inflammatory markers such as high sensitive C-reactive protein and tumor necrosis factor. They were elevated in people with persistent neck pain and radicular pain. Afterwards, we saw a reduction in this. Then we saw a reduction overall in the inflammation too. So it's really interesting that kind of prove that when you get your chiropractic adjustments, your inflammation goes down to the normal levels where it should be. But it also showed a difference in the neuroimmune response. So can we say that chiropractic care affects the immune system? I don't know. This paper says it does. I'm not going to go on record saying that. I don't want everybody to cancel me and turn me off. But it's an interesting read. So I'll share the name of the title of the paper here with you so you can feel free to look at it yourself. Immediate systemic neuroimmune response following spinal mobilization and manipulation in people with non-specific neck pain, a randomized placebo-controlled trial. This was written in Scientific Reports. It's on nature.com. It is published the 7th of August of 2023, and the lead author is Ivo, I-V-O. I probably said that wrong, but that's the lead author. Ivo J. Lutk, S-C-H-I-P-H-O-L-T. I'm not even going to try to say it. So you can look it up yourself. I'll put a link to this article in different places so you can read the article yourself and see the factors of it. But this is one of many studies that's coming out. This is one of the first. They've done a couple of the lower back people with lower back pain. This is one of the first ones they did with people with actual neck pain, and it's really interesting to see. They actually have pictures of the procedures they did on the neck on one patient, and they actually have charts here that shows all the different things of the cellular activity with those different protein markers that they showed us. So it's a really well done, well written paper. It's not PubMed indexed. Everyone knows I like PubMed. This one's not PubMed indexed yet. And again, it just came out, so maybe we'll get there. But it's very, very interesting paper to take a look at. So I invite you to open it up if you're skeptical about what I said and read the science yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm just quoting research paper here. So yeah, so again, you might meet a lot of people who say, whenever I feel stuffy or run down, I run to the chiropractor and get an adjustment. Now, why do they do this? Maybe this paper is starting to tell us some of the science behind what they're experiencing and why people would get a head cold or sinuses or not feel well, want to go see the chiropractor and get a chiropractic adjustment. Or maybe why people who do go to the chiropractor and get regular chiropractic adjustments, you never see run down or sniffy or runny noses and stuff like that. Again, I'm not saying that chiropractic care stopped it. I'm just saying that a lot of people come to us when they have these symptoms and sinuses because they've gotten relief through chiropractic care. So if you have questions about how chiropractic affects the nervous system, how the nervous system affects the immune system, I'll be happy to answer any more questions you have on this front. Feel free to leave me a message below. Wherever you're hearing this or seeing this, you can do a direct message directly to me and I'll get your message. Otherwise, you can go to my website, rockforddc.com. That's ROCKFORD.DC.com. And you can hit contact us and that'll go directly to me. And if you have a question about anything else chiropractic related and you'd like to ask a chiropractor, feel free to go ahead and do that there and I'll be happy to get back to you real soon. Thank you.